Wham! Talk 1600. You're catching the drift. Conservative talk. Intelligent conversations on local, state, and national issues with Kerry Wellings, chief editor of the Current newspaper and Current Online. Join in the conversation at 734-822-1600. And now, your host, Kerry Wellings.
And good Saturday afternoon. Thanks for tuning in to catch our drift. Joining me in studio, Ed Bonderenka. Ipsy Ed, welcome aboard.
Hey, Happy New Year.
Hey, glad to have you aboard, man. It's our last show of the year. It's our New Year's Eve show. So New Year's Eve to everybody. Happy New Year's to everybody. And glad we get to do this. I think about every 7 years maybe we'll get a chance to do New Year's Eve. So this is it.
I barely remember our Christmas show. I barely...
that was, that was 2 weeks ago. And I did an off-site show last week for the Red Nation Rising, yep. And if you don't catch the show live here at Wham Talk 1600, you can catch it Saturday and Sunday evenings at rednationrising.us. So make sure you check them out. And of course, we're always available on Spreaker, SoundCloud, YouTube, and archived, of course, at
and the links are on Facebook.
That's right, exactly. Facebook, I'm there, and thedailydrift.com. So what we do every Saturday here is go over the news of the week that I put up on thedailydrift.com. And if you're not going there, you should. www.thedailydrift.com. It's the news you need to know. Make sure you're getting out there and checking it out. So let's take care of a little business this half hour. It's brought to you by Brighton Ford. Now, I've bought about 6 cars from Brighton Ford and had great service, and they do some great service specials, tire rotations, works coupons for $30. 10% off parts, and you can catch those coupons at Brighton Ford up in Brighton, Michigan at brightonford.com, or go to currentonline.com. There's on the back page we have a full set of coupons. Just print it off and take it in. They'll take those too. But you can reach them at 1-800-494-2175. That's 800-494-2175. Brighton Ford. Todd and Scott Spittler run a great dealership, and they sell more than just Fords. They do a lot of used vehicles there too. So check them all out. They're great, and do it. BrightonFord.com. Okay, so Ed, Happy New Year. I want to tell everybody, let's have a great incoming new year. But I do want to say this. You know what, folks? If you're out at a public place anywhere in the nation or around the world, please be aware of your surroundings. Don't get all hammered and sloppy and forget about where you are. It's a dangerous world. And so we should take, especially for anyone overseas, right? Because ISIS has already said many, many times, and Al-Qaeda too, we're going to be looking to gang up on some foreigners anywhere. And this time last year, I think in Berlin and some other Cologne. It was Cologne in Germany, right? Yeah. A lot of women got raped, and assaulted last year. So just think of your surroundings, folks. I don't care if you're in Detroit or New York or Berlin or Rome or wherever. Just be aware of your surroundings. And you know what? Somebody once told me, always have yourself an out. You know what I mean? Always know where your exits are. Always know, and it doesn't take but a few moments of calculation on your part to think, if I need to get out of this room, how am I going to get out?
And when you meet somebody, smile, be pleasant, and have a plan to kill them.
Who's that? Mattis, right?
Yeah.
Mad Dog Mattis, yes. Well, Derek, let's start with track 1, because in Europe, they are preparing because there have been a lot of threats. Go ahead and throw track 1 up. Let's listen to that.
Barricades are going up in Berlin ahead of New Year's, just a week after the city suffered a deadly attack by Islamic State. Officials have already closed Pariser Platz Square near the Brandenburg Gate, where an extra 1,700 police officers will be on patrol. Organizers say they're confident they'll ring in 2017 safely.
The security concept is very comprehensive, and if you visit, you will probably be in one of the safest places in Germany tomorrow night.
The attack last week left 12 people dead and prompted greater calls for stepping up security. Brussels is also following suit. The city suffered from attacks in March when Islamist suicide bombers killed 16 people. Now, city officials and New Year's organizers are not taking any chances.
Obviously, the police will be there in numbers, and as in other European capitals, we will work with a system of blocks. When one block is full, it will be closed to avoid having too many people in the same place.
Officials had debated canceling New Year fireworks in Brussels, but decided they would go ahead.
Okay, so just something to be thankful, of what's going on out there and enjoy your New Year's. So I don't know that I'm doing anything other than watching some TV tonight. Put on a good movie and then catch the ball drop if I stay awake that long.
There you go. I'm watching the inside of my eyeballs at midnight.
The last few years, it's just like, making it, I'm falling asleep on the couch. I just don't like going out anymore. You know what I mean? I don't like the feel of driving. I don't like the crowds, the whole 9 yards. So it kind of bothers me a little bit. But anyways, well, I wanted to start with something real quick here, so not to get people bored, but locally here in Michigan, and it's not just local because it made the Wall Street Journal, I think, and a couple other sites, the WAPO site, I think, made it, about a Michigan ban on plastic bag bans by local governments. Did you read this?
No, that's news to me.
All right, so Wednesday of this week, Washtenaw County, that's where we reside. That's Ann Arbor, Michigan, right? Ann Arbor, Michigan, which is the touchy-feely, we always joke about it, People's Republic of Ann Arbor, right? The greenest of weenies here in Ann Arbor. The county commission went out and put a 10-cent fee on every paper and plastic grocery bag that you would buy groceries with, right? Mm-hmm. Trying to force you to bring in your little, bring in your own bags or pay a fee, 10 cents, right?
Or buy their bags.
Yeah, buy their bags. They're going to charge you 10 cents, paper or plastic.
I mean, they have the little
they have those
friendly bags,
the enviro-friendly, and some people do that, and that's great. Most of the time, I don't have to, I'd stop in, I'm buying something, and I'm walking out. I didn't plan on going grocery shopping. That's not the way I am. And so they're going to charge 10 cents, and it didn't matter. This is really going to hurt probably poor people more than anyone else, because I'm sure poor people have enough going on in their lives. They're not worrying about enviro-friendly issues. You know what I mean? They're worried about putting food in the mouths of their children. They're not worried about an environmentally friendly bag and a way to get their Twinkies or groceries or whatever home, from the store. And so they went ahead and passed it 6-2. And Dan Smith, God love him, was the Republican who voted no. And the other guy was, I can't remember his name. He was a Democrat. But he was for it, but it wasn't strict enough for him. That's why he voted no on it. So Dan Smith, thank you very much. He's our outgoing county commissioner, a Republican. And he is one of the few guys on that board in Washtenaw County that has any common sense whatsoever. But the lead of the Washtenaw County Commission said, we've had people spending months and months trying to put this legislation together for this 10-cent bag deposit on. And I'm thinking to myself, really? And even in their meeting before they passed it, they knew the state of Michigan already had something on the table that they were going to ban these plastic bag bans, right? So why in God's name would you spend all this money having county employees researching and developing legislation that the state is going to probably give you the big thumbs down to anyways, right?
Well, that's what they're good at is meddling in your life.
Meddling in our lives, wasting our money.
Yep.
And for God's sakes, Washtenaw County, stop voting these Democratic pinheads into office who are worrying about, there are bigger issues to worry about besides plastic bags. I'm sorry. Don't tell me these plastic, when you crush them up really small. I do.
Yeah.
Sometimes I take them down to we have a couple of daycares in our town. The ladies at the daycare are bring me those bags. We wrap the diapers up in them so it keeps
My
small.
wife folds them up neatly. We have a storage place, and if we
Yes.
get too many, they go in another plastic bag, and that plastic bag goes back to Myers where they recycle
them. Yes, or you can put them in the plastic recycling bin yourself.
There
But
you go.
are you kidding me? You want to put a whole – and here's the catch. So 20% of that fee gets to stay with the grocers to handle their costs. 80 cents goes back to the county. So it's just another way to get money for the county.
Yep. Well, to administer,
Robbie, Yusuf Robbie
the whole
is the
program.
head of the county. Yeah. And, this green douchebag, whatever the heck he is, he's just out there doing the craziest of crazy things. Stay the hell out of our lives, man. 10 cents, it's to you.
You've had too much of that good Wham coffee.
See, Drake is here, folks.
Yes.
You keep asking, where's Brandon? He's here. He's just had to, he's laughing at me because I'm probably 12 shades of red at this point. But doggone it, just stay the hell out of our lives. We don't need you to be charging us an extra 10 cents for a grocery bag. And I'm surprised the grocers in town and the Krogers and everyone else weren't just up in arms over it saying, what the heck are you talking about? That's got to be some huge cost to them to figure out. Because there you are. You get your bag, and before they can finish ringing you up and charging you out, they got to look at the grocer guy who's bagging you and saying, oh, yeah, get him for 10 bags. That's an extra $1.
But isn't the Michigan bag ban and a ban on banning bag bans? Am I reading that correctly?
It's a ban on bag bans. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
And you know what? Why in God's name our legislature had to do this? Well, I'll tell you why they had to do it. Because there are idiot green weenies running our doggone governments. You know?
And the seat of power is Ann Arbor.
Oh, for crying out loud. I'm sorry. I saw this, heard this on the news. You know, I'd seen the legislation. Then I heard about Washtenaw County doing this. I'm like, what kind of morons do we have here in Washtenaw County? Yusuf Rabi, you are a moron, sir. You are welcome to come on the show and talk to me about your plastic bag ban. You're a moron. There are more important things to do here. You know, why aren't you more importantly thinking about giving illegals identification? Oh, that's right. You've already done that too, haven't you? You want to talk about Washtenaw County is filled with politically retarded people. It really is.
Where's Brandon? He needs to bring your meds in here.
Gosh darn it. Well, you know, let's take a break so I can catch my breath because I'm kind of up. Look at me. I'm 12 shades of red right now, aren't I? Didn't plan on getting this angry, but I'm angry. Derek, let's take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about Obama's new Cold War in 3 weeks before he leaves office. We'll get into that when we come back.
I'm going to get red.
Oh, yeah. All right, we'll see you on the other side.
I'm Derek Stone with 60 Seconds on Sports. About 2 weeks ago, the Detroit Lions seemed destined to win the NFC North and clinch a playoff spot, but now they might be eliminated by the Green Bay Packers this Sunday night. Detroit must find a way to take the pressure off their quarterback, Matt Stafford, who has been playing with torn ligaments in his throwing hand finger. Theo Riddick and Zach Zenner will need to step up for the Lions in the running game. If Detroit is able to run the ball successfully, that is going to allow Stafford to face less pressure from the Packers' defense, and he can get back to methodically moving the offense down the field with short passes. As far as the Lions' defense is concerned, they must disguise their blitzes because Aaron Rodgers will tear them apart if he sees them coming. I'm Derek Stone, and this is my 60 Seconds on Sports.
I'm Gary Wellings, chief editor of The Current and The Daily Drift. With today's internet environment, it's easy to get information overload. The best way to process this information and cut through the internet chatter is to get your news delivered in a concise and effective manner. Get the news you need to know at thedailydrift.com. Check out The Daily Drift, one of the fastest growing websites around. At The Daily Drift, I find the local, state, national, and international stories you won't get from the mainstream media, and I make it easy for you to link to them. You'll also get original common sense opinions from local writers. You can even get a free subscription that will deliver a link to your email inbox every day for free. You'll also get instant access to all archived podcasts of the Drift Radio Show and links to the best articles, opinions, and websites. Go to www.thedailydrift.com. That's the news you'll need to know at thedailydrift.com.
I know the truth about Benghazi. I was there, fighting alongside 5 Americans who were all raised to believe that if you have a chance to save someone's life and you don't try, that's more criminal than anything else. So we fought for 13 hours and we saved lives. But we are not unique. We are no different than the Americans who ran back into those crumbling New York towers, or the Americans who tackled the armed terrorists on that French train, or the many faceless, nameless Americans who every day risk their lives for perfect strangers, trapped in burning cars or dangerous waters. Because if they didn't, no one would. Where was that courage among the politicians who had the power to make a difference during those 13 hours in Benghazi? I am the National Rifle Association of America, and I'm freedom's safest place.
Dr. Michael Singleton offers family dentistry you can trust with over 20 years of experience in all areas of dentistry. Multiple ways to enhance your smile, from simple whitening to complete veneers, same-day crowns, laser cavity detection, preventative, restorative, and advanced cosmetic dentistry. It's tomorrow's dentistry today. Open Monday.